Now we are going to discuss five deadliest mistakes to avoid in email marketing, because these mistakes I don't want to do it. Because if you make this mistake for your client, or for if you have a business for yourself, this is what kills campaign. This is why you're not getting the sales. This is why the problem unsubscribe. But if I tell you what to do instead, people will become like a cult. Your subscriber will turn into a cult. So let's start with very first thing, like the forgetting the most important person in the. I'll just share my iPad right now so that it is easier to present to you. Let's do it. So we were discussing right now. eh, So what are the mistakes that we have to avoid? The first is the first one is, I'm sorry, let's take a new one. Yes, forgetting the most important person. Like if I ask you, if there is a picture, okay, there's a lot of people here, and there's you here, right? Your picture is here. Where does your focus goes in a group picture? First of all, where do you see yourself? What does it mean? Like people care about themselves than anyone else. So we need to understand as a marketer, as an email marketer, that whatever the email you are writing, the focus should be this. That's the reason we focus on you versus I, or us. This should be more in the email. That's the first thing. And I'll tell you the example. Like people make a mistake of just telling about their product, their service. These are the bonuses, these are the gifts, this is what is going to you are going to get. Nobody cares about your bonuses because it's your product. People care about their pain points, their desire, their fear, and how you're going to solve their problem. They don't care about how many amazing bonuses they are going to get. So we need to talk about the outcomes. That is called bikinis, not bubbles. Damn. Those dumbbells will not get the body that people want. What they want is this. So we need to understand that we need to focus on the outcome. We need to talk about their pain points and desire. I'll give you one of the example that I just recently saw. Look, your last shot. Uh, what is this? Like if you see 12-day glows challenge, what is happening in this email? The first thing is this: as tonight, the countdown is on, and Saturday at midnight, this is your last chance to sneak this. Last chance to this you have been eyeing. What is about me? This is the only thing that I see that is telling about, from balancing hormones to resetting your metabolism. These offers are designed to help you feel unstoppable in tuition. I feel it can be more specific. We can go deeper into that. And this is how we are not going to sell anything. This is how we don't do it. This is how email masiahs don't do it. We have a different approach. I'm going to teach you in this module how to do it. This is how most people do it. Day one, day two, day three. They don't care. People don't care about that. Leave these things for the these things should be on the sales page, not in the email. Our focus here is to prime the reader to buy it. These are the features and benefit. We are not going to talk about features and benefit in the email. Our goal here is to arouse the emotions, build a know, like, and trust, build a relationship, and show them like we are the people, we are the trusted advisor whom they can trust. That's our purposes. We are not going to tell like these are the features and benefit. So this is we don't have to do in the email. And the second mistake, let's get in the here. The second mistake is most people are they are educating just like a teacher. Education versus entertainment. So what do I mean by that? If you think about entertainment industry, how big it is, like people are scrolling Instagram reel just like anything. Why? Entertainment. Bollywood movies, Hollywood movies, anything which has got entertainment, that has got more value than education, because it is fun. And who gets paid more? Teacher versus actor. What do you think? Obviously, actor, right? So the point here is, when you are writing emails, you cannot sound like a college professor. You cannot sound like a college professor. That's the worst mistake you can do. But still, people want to learn. People want to grow. So what we have to do? You have to just teach them, just like in school. You have to sift their belief and perspective through different ways, which I'm going to show you here. But let's suppose you're a health coach or fitness coach, and you are writing for anyone, and you're going to talk about mitochondria and how does it affects energy, and what's the role of mitochondria. You cannot be like go very specific and scientific, because the first thing is, the people who are reading email, they are not paying the full attention. People are just mindlessly opening the email. You as an email marketer catch their intention, and you have to force them to consume information. And if you sound like a professor, which is very hard to consume, which is not easy to consume, what is going to happen? You're going to lose them, and that's what we don't want, right? So our message has to be very simple. It should be very easy to consume. Even if you're teaching something, even if you have to use metaphor or analogy. You have to use very short sentences. You cannot be like very I'll give you a few examples. Not this example. Look, the carrot versus stick. Now, what is cat? This email is also education based, but you will see how it is different from just giving random information. They say that pain of losing $100 is greater than the desire of making $100. They say it. The negative views. This is the hook. And if I'm a copywriter, I understand. And who are the people here reading? Copywriters. And the negative news typically gets three times more than it. Well, guess what? They are also fucking absolutely correct. This is what injecting personality, whoever they are. That's why you see fear-based marketing being used everywhere. That's why you see mass media pumping out negative headlines and after negative headlines. That's why you should use tech-based strategy when you're sending cold email. For example, here's an abbreviated version of one that I came up with. Hey Sam, I don't want to sound like a grim reaper here, but have some bad news. I sat down on my laptop with my morning brew just a few hours ago and saw something horrifying in mind. Staring right at me was your name in the promotion tab, untouched, unloved, withering away into dust. And don't send the messenger, but if you hit that promo tab for long enough, your email will eventually be lost in the barren wasteland that is spam folder. And when that happens, you may as well burn your entire list and start again. Because not only will you have lost all the money you spent on marketing to build it, but all the money you could have made it to build a future have designated faster than Lever King's reputation. This is a like analogy. So here is what you need to do. On the other hand, there are group people who are not motivated as stick. This stick versus carrot. That is what is the concept he's trying to teach. They are motivated by the carrot, especially if your target audience is women. If you have seen as a high school football coach hurl insult all the boys to motivate them, ever seen them doing the same thing to the girls? Nope. Smart coaches know the boys need to be pushed and the girls need to be pulled. Not being a sexist here, but sharing what the statistics says. Of course, there are some women who are better motivated by the stick, some men who are better motivated by the carrot. So please don't be one of them. So if the above strategy is not hitting, you could be a carrot based marketing. So this all the things. It's an example of test both version and lead with the one. So this is also giving value, but in a consumable way. We need to understand as a marketer, like the more information they are consuming, then they are going to buy the product. If we are not forcing them to consume information, if they are not consuming our information, they are not going to buy our product. So our focus should be how can they uh, consume the information. So it should be these things. You need to be very careful. You have to be very specific about how you're conveying the message. The third mistake, which is education. Okay, I'm forgetting the most important: education versus entertainment. What was the third mistake? Just a sec. No connection, fun, and personality. Yes. So when I say about no connection, fun, and personality, here is what I mean. No connection, fun, and personality. So there's a difference between a great copywriter. Copy is all about words, but email is all about copy plus relationship. Because it's a one-on-one communication, it's an intimate communication. It's We need to understand that we are having one-on-one communication, so we need to be very aware that how we are communicating. So instead of writing "by now," we need to very be aware, like how can we inject the personality, whatever the personality you have. So that's where it's called the brand voice will come into picture. So whenever you're talking to client, we need to inject their personality. If there is you're talking to female brand, so you'll be using the terms like "hey queen." But if you're talking to, for example, a person who is a male brand and a business entrepreneur, he'll be just, I saw you Son Ferris, he was talking about, "This is fucking amazing." So it's his voice, it's the way his personality looks like. And when I'm talking about connection, fun, and personality, I'll show you how to build connection and how to have an amazing, how to inject personality into the email. I'll show you exactly. But you need to keep this in mind. We need to develop no like and trust. And there are 11 triggers to build that thing. So I'll show you exactly in separate video. But remember, we need to inject the personality, the way you sound like a human being. That's how we need to write it. So write the way you talk. This is one of the tip that you need to have. And remember, you cannot be like a chat gpt. Hey there, how are you doing? And I hope this email finds you well. We are not going to do that set. We have to be very like, yo, the day is amazing, you are amazing. Let's get right into this email because I'm pumped up today. I'm going to talk about three specific strategies that help me to land clients. And the third one is, that was the most dangerous one. Use it very carefully. And damn, do not share with anyone. So the first one is this, second one is this, third one is this. And bro, this is what will gets me. And things gets very wild when you do this. You see, when you inject those emotions and the way you talk, the way you write it, people are able to go into trance. They go into trance, and you are able to get get people into a trance, and just they will forget they are reading the emails. So that's what we have to do. The fourth mistake is they're sending emails only when they have something to sell. So when I say, you will meet a lot of clients, or you might be also doing this, what happens is they have an email list. There are a lot of people out there. They're not sending email constantly, and they're not focused on building a relationship. Let's suppose they have a product coming. Let's suppose there is a launch coming. Let's suppose there's a sale coming, and that is the time they are only sending emails. It is just like, imagine a random stranger, a salesperson comes to you and just starts selling you something. How likely you're going to trust them? Because you're just sending emails when where they have something to sell. You're not coming from a place of giving. You're not coming from a place of helping. You're not coming from a place of making the prospect or customer life better. You're not coming from a place of trusted advisor. You're just going to go and sell anything. So you lose the trust whenever you're sending emails. So we don't have to do that. That's the reason you have to send daily emails. You send daily emails, or in the worst case, every other day. That's what we have to do. Got it? The next mistake is, that is fifth one, landing in spam. This is not a mistake, but they are unaware of it. Most people are landing in spam, and they will blame you as a copywriter. They will think that this is the reason email copy is not working. But the four most important is deliverability. If your email landing in spam and promotion, does not matter how good your copy is, does not matter how well your subject line is being crafted, it does not matter. What matter is, if you're landing in primary, if you're able to get attention, then only something will happen. Then only people will read. If you are hiding in spam, nobody is able to see them. What is the point of writing those emails? So we have to be very careful about those mistakes, and let's we don't make those mistakes. I'm sorry. So what we have to do instead of that, and the first thing is, we need to have a thousand forest mindset. So what is this thousand forest mindset? So let's suppose there's a, whenever you see any forest, whenever you see any big forest, how they would have grown. Different seeds grow into one tree, and these tree again falls, again become different tree. So you need to see every person as a seed, every person as a seed right now. The people who have joined your list right now, joined your list. Now what is going to happen is, if you have this mindset, your focus should be nurture them, so that they can become a tree. You will come from place of giving. Always lead with giving hand, which means you have to be relentless about making them better. You're, as a leader, as a person who is an expert in something, your goal should be make their life better. Your email, every email should sounds like that. Even if you're selling, but your the way you communicate is going to be a different. And fourth point is, I'll stop sharing the screen right now. The fourth point is salesman versus advisor. I have already written here, but when I say salesman versus advisor, imagine a person who is a friend who is recommending you some books. You trust him, right? Why? Because you know he will never think wrong about you. That is what trusted advisor means. But a random person who comes to you and just sell you something, you don't trust him. So that's what we have to be differentiating in the email. You have to come as a trusted advisor, as a friend who is recommending. That's the written here. You're not going to sell, you're going to recommend. You're going to recommend the product. You're not going to sell. Buy now, buy now, buy now. We are not going to that. You don't want your client to be seen as a salesman. You want them to be seen as a trusted advisor, the one who give advice, the one who the one who keeps your interest before this, helping the customer and prospect win in the long term. and focus is to build the relationship. So that is what we have to come here. We have to come here as a sales, we have to come as a trusted advisor, not a salesman. You have to recommend, we don't have to sell. So you need to have these mindset frame before you go and write those emails. And when I say a diagnosis come before prescription, you have to diagnose their problem before you sell the solution. What do I mean by that? Diagnosis before comes to the subscription. For example, imagine a scenario. You go to a doctor, they say you, hey bro, what's happening? Like, there's a lot of headache. Okay, he just look at you and say okay, and he just bring out the iPad and just write you the prescription, and well, okay, just take these pills and you'll be good in 5 days. Like what? Like, are you likely to? Do you think you're going to trust him now? Because he did not do any diagnosis, he did not ask you any question, he did not checked up anything here and there. Now imagine the second scenario. You go to a doctor, he say, have heard a lot of headache. It's like, okay, tell me more about you. Like, how long you have been suffering from? Okay, 5 days. And what all things you have eaten? Have you eaten outside food or inside food? What all things you have eaten? Okay. Did you travel anywhere, or it was just like where were you in the last couple of weeks? Okay. And he brings out his what is that? He checks your heartbeat, he takes the saliva and he do the sample test and do the, and finally he comes and say, based on what I have observed, you have something called this disease, and what you need to do is take this recommendation so that you'll be getting well in next 2 weeks. Do you think you're going to trust him? Absolutely. And that's what we do, because he has done diagnosis. So I'm going to be very specific about those emails as well, like what I mean by diagnosis before a prescription. I'll give you a few of the example. You have to talk about their pain points, their desire, how exactly they are feeling. If you can describe their problem better than they could, you got it. That is what diagnosis means. And in the research modules, I'm going to talk about how to diagnose and how to find the fear points. And I told you, you're not going to talk about bonuses and these all things. You know the bonuses expired, so we don't have to do those things. So remember these points, and we don't have to avoid these mistakes and focus on these things. Thousand forest mindset, salesman versus advisor. We have to relentless about helping others, helping them to get better. We have to send daily or every day a email, and we have to lead by giving it. If you have any questions, just put in the community, and would love to help. But before that, just go through these module, because most of your question will be answered